What is up, my dudes? It's the Reddit Fairy. I'm back with another video, and this time I've got something a little bit different. I'm gonna do a little bit of a medley. All of the r/TalesFrom subreddits that you guys love, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and mash those up. So, r/TalesFromCallCenters, TalesFromDispatch, TalesFromRetail, TalesFromSecurity, TalesFromTechSupport, TalesFromTheFrontDesk, TalesFromThePharmacy, TalesFromThePizzaGuy, TalesFromTheSquadCar, and Tales from your server. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Tales from Call Centers. Mother discovers her teenage son ordered $250 of porn. Okay, my last post here got a lot of responses, so I thought I might as well add one of my other stories. Interestingly enough, the best stories always seem to involve porn. A little background here. When you order pay-per-view back then, the receiver box had to be hooked up to your home phone. That was how your system communicated any pay-per-view to the company. Once a month, around 2 or 3 a.m., the box would make one 20-second call to report any pay-per-view ordered. If pay-per-view had been ordered and you didn't have a phone line hooked up, the box would try to make the call, realize it couldn't, and shut off pay-per-view until you hooked up a phone line. Everything else would work just fine, though, but then and if you ever hooked the phone line up, it would then report all the pay-per-views saved on it. It was a typical day when I had a woman who called in because her television bill was higher than expected. I'm not just talking about an extra $20 or $30. She had $250 on her bill that she wasn't expecting. She was mad, and I don't blame her. She wanted to know how her bill got that high. So I looked it up, and sure enough, someone had ordered porn on her account. I was able to look up exactly which satellite box it was ordered on, how it was ordered, and even when it was ordered. Remember how I told you about having a phone line hooked up to the satellite box and pay-per-view? Yeah, that's what happened. They ordered pay-per-view back when they first got their service hooked up. Then our system tried to make the call and report it. Pay-per-view got shut off for that box, and pay-per-view couldn't be reported. 7 months passed, and they decided to attach their phone to the satellite box, and suddenly they get hit with charges from months ago, that old pay-per-view. I was able to look up exactly which one of the satellite boxes the porn was ordered on, and sure enough, it came from the box in their teenage son's room. That was when the call changed. I mean, she was typical angry, irate customer when she called. She was mad. After I explained everything to her, she was still mad, but she wasn't mad at me or my company anymore. She turned her ire to her son. For the rest of the call, after every statement or two, she took a second to yell at her son, telling him things like, "We're selling your stereo. You're getting a job, and you're paying for this. How did you think you were going to pay for this? And we can't pay our cable bill this month just because you needed to jack off." Oddly enough, she never asked to make payment arrangements or even credits. I would gladly have done it for her, but I couldn't offer those without requesting them. Oh my god. I'm in tech support, and I used to work for a company that was a provider, and there was a lot of upset people calling about charges for pornography, and there's no way they could have ordered it, or anybody in their house could have ordered it. No, man. There's I don't even remember. It was like a 4 or 5 button process to actually order the things. So don't tell me that you guys didn't order it. Anyway, moving on. r/TalesFromDispatch. My coworker with the Freudian Slip and Slide. I'm a retail controller for a light rail transit system. We deal with the trains mostly on radio, but also have to talk with the public through emergency phones throughout the system. I have a coworker who is competent in his job, just a little special. So special that I have coined the phrase above for him. Today's special, he was answering a customer call for a woman who had left her phone on a train. We were sending the field supervisor to return the recovered phone, and he asked the customer, "And what are you wearing?" She started with her appearance, then suddenly stopped as she realized what he had said. Luckily, our intercom system has keyed headsets, and she couldn't hear the laughter from the control room. The boss came out of the office and played back the recording of the conversation, and FS&S had to leave the room in embarrassment. In the past, he has gotten into the habit of referring to a cross street in our system as Norfolk, not the usual Norfolk. I don't see the difference, honestly. And it's the traditional pronunciation, but with the emphasis on the second syllable. So, Norfolk. Oh, okay. Norfolk. Okay, I see what they're saying there. Okay, alright. It doesn't help that nearby it is a buttment, as he calls it. He is also called access approval, anal approval over the air. Oh my god, this guy he either really hates his job or he really loves his job. r/TalesFromRetail. A customer's broken item from another store. I worked in a costume jewelry store. We sold relatively cheap jewelry. People would buy it for like formals or weddings. We have a small repair kit at work with some pliers. It has a bunch of O-rings and spare clasps for jewelry. One day, a customer came into my store with his family and asked me if we sold O-rings. He wanted to fix his bracelet he purchased from another store. I offered to fix it, and he didn't want me to do it, so I put a couple of O-rings in a tiny resealable bag and gave it to him. He asked for the cost, and I told him it's free. Our repair kit had over 100 of these cheap little O-rings. I told him that if he lost the ones I gave him to come back, and I'd give him some more, considering they are quite small. He came back in later in the afternoon, and I thought maybe he would need some more O-rings. Instead, him and his family gave me a box of expensive chocolate, expressing how thankful they were and how much they struggled to find the O-rings until they came into my store. They praised the customer service and were the kindest souls. I was in absolute shock because I didn't feel it was deserved. This will always stick with me. They absolutely made my year with it. I couldn't just wipe the massive grin off of my face. Oh, yay, a wholesome one. Guys, when I first started reading this, I was like, oh no. Is this gonna turn into some crazy freak out? But nope. It was wholesome. It was good. I like it. r/TalesFromSecurity. I just had the weirdest interactions with the corrections officer. So I got off at 11 tonight, stopped at a Circle K while driving home. I'm still in uniform, which is more military looking than I'd prefer, but whatever. The person who holds the door and goes in before me is in what looks like a standard LEO uniform in the area, but nothing on her belt. I look at the arm badge on her shirt. Correctional officer. Huh, okay. Also, I'm 6'2", and she's taller than me, so I was kinda like, damn. I walk in, she turns around, looks me up and down, and holds out her hand, like for a handshake. I held mine out, she took my hand, nodded at me with a really serious look, and then turned around and proceeded to start getting her hot dogs, all without a word. Normally, if I run into a cop while in uniform, they want to talk about where I work, and especially if I have any plans to become law enforcement. Nope. This was just bizarre, and also the first uniform CO I've ever encountered in public. I just had to tell this story to someone. Have a good night, y'all. Okay. I don't know. I live in Canada, so I've seen this happen. Maybe not the whole uniform thing, but I mean, people wearing hats. I don't know. I've seen it happen before. Canadians are really friendly people, y'all. Tales from Tech Support. I don't think you know what cancel means. Since I have been dealing with users less and less over the years, I don't have as many funny user stories like I used to. However, some of my team members still deal with them on a day-to-day basis. Here's a back and forth that one of my team members had with a user that was trying to look at a vendor's presentation with the vendor on site. Panicked lady. We have a vendor up here who needs to connect to the projector. Can you come up right now and help us? Support guy. Yeah, sure. I'll be right up. Wait, what kind of display options does the vendor's laptop have? Like DisplayPort, HDMI, VGA? Panicked lady. It's a Dell! Support guy. Right. But what kind of display options does it have? Like HDMI, VGA? Vendor. No worries, man. I have a dongle. We just need to hook in place, apparently. So I head up there to help out. This particular room they are using is not made for vendor presentations. This room is meant for team building and internal training use only. So the only way to connect him in is to plug the current PC and use that VGA all the way back to the corner for his laptop. So as I'm explaining this, I think to myself, man, it would be a lot easier if he just sent the PowerPoint to one of our ladies here in an email and they could pull it up on this PC, but whatever. And right on cue, the vendor goes, "This seems wrong. Didn't I send all of you the PowerPoint and email? I feel like last time we did this, it was super easy. Why can't we just do that again?" Oh my god. Panic lady. Yeah, we can do that, but you should know that if you have Outlook 2010 or later, it won't work on here since this PC only has 2007. Support guy. No, that's not correct. Panic lady. Yeah, this computer won't even let me log in since my emails have been upgraded. Support guy. Go ahead and launch Outlook for me. Clicks Outlook. Pulls up a sign and dialog box. She clicks cancel and then the program terminates. Panic lady. See, I told you it wouldn't work. Support guy. Hold on. Go back to Outlook and click it again for me. She clicks Outlook again. Support guy. Whoa. Don't click cancel. Go ahead and enter your username and password for me. Enters username and password. Outlook opens with email of vendor at the top. Support guy. Seems like you guys are ready to rock and roll. Panic lady. Thanks. What the heck did she think canceled meant? Like for real? Guys, I'm not even joking. I deal with people like this on a daily basis. They exist. I believe this 105,060 billionth percent. I know it's not a number, but I just believe in it that much. It's, oh my god, it's ridiculous. Some people make me sit there after a call twitching, and I'm just like, is today the day I'm gonna have an aneurysm over this job? Is it gonna happen? Maybe not today. Okay, let's move on. r/Tales from the Front Desk. Breakfast Bitch is back and at it again. I'm not going to link the whole saga here. It's just gotten way too long, guys. But if you're lost, feel free to check my username for old posts about Breakfast Bitch. The TLDR of the situation is that breakfast attendant on my property wants me to do as much of her job as possible, and the situation didn't de-escalate until management finally stepped in and told her to do her own fucking job. When we left off in my last post, our general manager had to come in and at the ass crack of dawn to cover for Breakfast Bitch because she thought she would be cute and come in an hour late and make me set up breakfast for her. Instead of that, I set out one pot of coffee and called general manager to let her know someone needed to cover for Breakfast Bitch because she wasn't in yet and wasn't answering her phone. General manager covered and told Breakfast Bitch that if she can't get her shit together and do her job, then she wouldn't have a job anymore. It's been a month, and since things have gotten actually good. No more being late, no more last minute calls out, and she has been doing all of her own work without complaint. Until today. So Breakfast Bitch was supposed to be here at 5 a.m., but she usually doesn't roll in until 5:15 to 5:30, so I didn't even think about the fact that she was late until 5:45 hit, because breakfast is at 6 and still no one is here to do breakfast. I called Breakfast Bitch's cell. No one answers. I call back again, and this time the call goes straight to voicemail. Knowing that this is her usual tactic of getting others, me, to do her work for her, I call our manager. I tell manager that breakfast bitch isn't answering her phone and that breakfast is now late. I also ask if she would like me to get breakfast started until we can get someone in, and she tells me that no, she will call in the backup and that I should stay at the desk. At 6:20, breakfast bitch finally calls back and says that she overslept and that her phone was dead. I want to put in a note that I know these things happen and I know I've done these things before. I just don't believe her in this instance. So she wanted me to get everything started and she would be right in. I got to, gleefully if I'm being honest, tell her that there was no need to come in. We already called an awesome breakfast lady so she could just stay home today. She got kind of huffy with me and asked if I had even called our manager before calling an awesome breakfast lady, or if I just did it myself because I didn't want to have to do any of her work. I told her that I called her 4 times before calling to ask the manager what she wanted me to do, and guess what? She wanted me to stay at the desk doing my job and call an awesome breakfast lady to cook breakfast because that is her job. I could hear the CBF over the phone, but she couldn't say anything because I did everything exactly as I was supposed to. Oh my god. I used to work at a restaurant, and there were a lot of people that were like this. They knew others were more their work ethic was a lot stronger than other people's, so they knew they couldn't just let something sit there and wait. They knew they would take over and get it done if it had to be done. Oh, I hate people like that. Stop. r/Tales from the Pharmacy. Entitled lady is arguing for 45 minutes at pharmacy drive-thru because she thinks it's the place to return products to the store. If this isn't the right place to put this, let me know. I'm mad and need to rant. I needed to pick up a script. One stupid script. It's like 95 degrees outside and I just finished my errands, including picking up my wet, whiny 3-year-old niece from swim practice. I pull up behind the lady in an SUV. Entitled lady. Big car. She's sitting there and I see a bag hanging out of her car. I'm assuming she ain't been served yet. Wait 5 minutes until I hear, "Welcome to Big Corporate Pharmacy." The yelling starts immediately. Entitled lady waving her bag around, wants to do a return. I hear pharmacy ask her to come into the store. No, entitled lady is here and wants to return her shit here. I hear another person come on and kind of refuse to do it. Nope. Entitled lady yells louder. She here. So, not only the lady wants to do a return, but apparently it's an exchange. She picked up the wrong product and someone needs to go get it for her in the pharmacy because she's entitled, obviously. So, time is going by while this woman yelling about customer service, blah blah. About 20 minutes go by, and guy behind me and I start exchanging these looks. You know, talking with your hands about the crazy person in front of you. 30 minutes go by, and the person behind him beeps a bunch of times. Well, now wet, cranky 3-year-old wakes up. Great. Since the beeping is obviously not working, guy behind me leaves. Follow the guy behind me who lays his hand on the horn, passing her with the finger. She beeps back. Now I have a choice. Leave, park, get angry, wet 3-year-old whose nap was interrupted out of the car, to go stand online at the pharmacy, who will suddenly probably remember she's hungry, thirsty, needs diaper change, to stand online with the angry childless people who had a good fortune of not having to deal with wet, overtired, cranky 3-year-olds, then get her back in the car. I decide by the time I do all that, she'll be gone. Besides, some new victim behind me anyway. Besides, she's got her new bag. We good, right? Nope, still yelling about something. 10 more minutes, she finally throws car into gear. Move a millimeter. Nope. Gonna get last word. For about 5 minutes, we continue to play pretend to move forward. But not really, cause we still got shit we need to bitch about. At this point, probably lady in the pharmacy 2 fault because she didn't keep responding, which has continued this lady to keep stopping and yelling back. Let it go, pharmacy worker. Please, I want to go home. It's hot. Finally, lady leaves. Takes me 5 minutes to pick up my own medicine, except that 5 minutes turned into an hour. Now, I need a nap. Oh, but it's a garbage night, so I gotta do that too now. Moral, the drive-thru is to pick up your prescriptions or drop them off, not returns. Even if you're doing returns to things found in pharmacy section, get over your entitlement. Oh my god, that was really hard to read. Sorry guys, but it was... How? That is really entitled, man. That's probably like the most 1 hour in a drive-thru. Like you could have... Oh my god. Ew. Gross. I hate these people. Tales from the Pizza Guy. I unknowingly delivered a stalker's message to his victim. This just happened today. So I get a delivery to a home for the elderly. So the address should have the physical address as well as a room number. The receipt said to call when arrived, which isn't very unusual in and of itself. The order was a medium hand-tossed cheese, which is super basic, but again, not weird in any of itself. I figured that they wanted me to call because I was just past the time that the house would have been unlocked, and maybe they would meet me at the door. I thought this was confirmed, and there was no specific room number on it. My general manager texted me when I was on the way to the address that the person called again and asked to call when I arrived. Again, I figured that I would call, meet at the door, and I'd be on my way. Easy. I get to the address and dial the number on the receipt. A man with a stern voice answered, speaking in a demanding tone. He said, "Listen to me. You will knock on, insert name on the receipt, door, and give them the pizza." I told him that without the room number, I wouldn't know where to go. He once again repeated the phrase. He told me that he ordered it for her and she would pay in cash. It was a cash order. I started to get red flags, that this was getting sketchy. I still tried justifying things to myself, thinking that maybe it was her grandson ordering it for her, as it was an old lady who maybe didn't know how to order. It got weirder when he wanted me to keep him on the phone, so I did. I knocked and someone was close by, so they let me in. I asked what room so-and-so was in, and they told me. I went there and knocked. An older lady answered the door, looking confused. The first thing that she said was, "I didn't order pizza." I began to realize what was happening. He asked me to hand her my phone, so I just put it on speaker. He started with, "I've been looking for you. First name, last name. Why have you been ignoring me, baby?" Oh no. She was confused and started asking who this was. He told her that she knew. She knew again, confirmed that she had no idea who she was. Or she once again confirmed that she had no idea who she was. He demanded that she give him her cell phone number. I shook my head no and said, "Why would I give you my number when I don't even know who this is?" He then sneered, "I am coming for you, baby. I will find you." I hung up the phone. The number was likely spoofed, as he called on private when he called our store. He then proceeded to call me 5 times, all with private caller as the ID, with me ignoring every single one. I finally answered and told him that if he called this number again, I would be calling the police. That was the last time he called. When we were off the phone, I told her to contact a loved one as well as the authorities. I told her I could blacklist her address as she never orders Pizza Hut. This is the second time a stalker scenario has happened with me driving. Yikes. 99% upvoted. Oh my god. So this is actually a thing that happens a lot, apparently? That is fucking freaky, man. Woo. I'm sad for this world. Like, seriously. r/Tales from the Squad Car. State Trooper. What troopers fear. I was working graveyards, partnered with Johnson, and there was a rainstorm raging. That means we hunkered down in a safe spot somewhere and don't do anything except clear the inevitable solo crashes that come out. A few hours into the shift, all the other units were tied up and another crash came out. Johnson and I responded to find a car had spun out into a wall near a freeway transition with a curve on the road. Nighttime, rain, and a curve meant poor visibility and other drivers coming in hot. The car had broken an axle and couldn't move. We called for a tow truck on emergency to get there fast, while we ran into the freeway lanes to lay down flares. The flares work great when you first light them. They'll actually burn underwater, but once they get past the ignition stage, a few raindrops will put them out. We were constantly running back and forth from the crash to the beginning of the curve, lighting new flares to direct cars doing 80 miles per hour away from the disabled vehicle we were protecting. The tow truck showed up in the middle of this and started hooking the car up. Johnson and I were running back to the car when we heard screeching tires behind us. Ford Trooper, that's the sound of death. We both turned and dove over the concrete wall on the shoulder. Someone driving way too fast had run through our flare pattern and barely skidded to a halt a few feet from our bumper. They barely saved it and continued the scene. I yelled to the tow driver, "Let's get the hell out of here." He hooked up the car with few less straps than normal and we took off to a safer spot. Traffic stops, combative subjects, crazy people, all routine. Stormy days are what got us concerned. Guys, there are so many accidents. There's this one highway here that there's so many accidents on because it's curvy and it minimizes down to just, 2 lanes, and people always try to pass somebody and they go around this corner and smash head-on collision or, construction. You guys got to remember, these are people with families too. Like, they're working on the side of the road. Slow your asses down. Know where you're going is more important than that person's or your person's life. So just chill out, my dudes. Life is too short. And this final story is going to be short and sweet from r/Tales from your server. No, sorry, we don't have any more cheesecake available. Sad face. Oh wait, we actually do have one more slice left, but I'm saving it for myself for after work because I've had a long day and you were rude and don't deserve it. So sorry, not sorry. I love it. I've done this before. I've worked at a few different places, like a few different restaurants, and I've saved the last of something for myself because I had a long ass day and I deserved it. Sorry, not sorry. That is so, oh my god. That's me and everyone else that's ever worked in the restaurant, I'm pretty sure. Anyway. Alright, you guys, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I had so much fun making it. And if you liked it, please go ahead and smash that like button. If you want to be notified when I get future videos coming out, smash that subscribe button. It really helps me out. I want to keep making these videos for you and I would love your guys' feedback. So if you want to pop down in the comments and just comment, what you liked about this video, what you didn't like about it, comment on the stories. If you have any kind of stories yourself, feel free to post them on r/Reddit Fairy and maybe I'll read your story in the next one. All my social media links are in the comments in the description there. Sorry, I'll also leave the links to all the stories I read here so you can go and show them some love. And I'll leave it at that and I will see you guys next time.